Hello, my name is Quiaro, and together with my team comprised of Alexandra Ranaudo and Ariane Rincon, we will be doing the third evaluation of the phonetics and phonology subject, which is phonological processes. So, to put you in context before reading the text, the conversation is between three men, Mr. James, Ben, and Sean. It is a semi-formal conversation because the choice of words is not formal, but it's not casual. The names seem to point that Mr. James might be older or of higher rank, and that Ben and Sean might be of similar rank because they are not referred to as Mr., and that Mr. James is the one in control of the conversation. Now, the relationship between these three is unknown, and the setting is also unknown, but this is the information we can infer from the text. Now I will read the transcription. When they went in there again, it was all blocked up, wasn't it? They couldn't get through. Why? Why is that? Why? Why did it happen? This group, why do you think that happens? Sean says, because. Ben says, Mr. James responds, right, Sean was just about to say something. Ben says, I don't know. Mr. James responds, okay, you're not sure. Maybe you can add something in a moment. Ben? Ben finally responds, I think.
So now, let's start with the analysis of the dialogue. Mr. James, when I went in there again, it was all black up, wasn't it? They couldn't get through. As for the phonological processes, first we have the word when. There is a nasalization in it because the sound e is being affected by the sound n, so it becomes a nasal sound. For the other three words, they all have elision as a phonological process. This normally happens in rapid speech. For the first one, we have went. The sound t is not pronounced and it sounds like when. For the word there, it will sound like inner. And lastly, for the word couldn't, it will sound like couldn't. Why is that? Why? Why did it happen? This group, why do you think that happens? So, in this sentence, we can find two phonological processes. The first one is elision in the word that, because the sound the is omitted, so it can sound like why did the instead of why did that happen. And for the second one, we have assimilation in two specific words. We have happen and happens. That occurs the same thing. The sound p and n become more similar to one another because they are spoken consecutively. Sean, because. Ben, in this part, there are not any phonological processes.
To continue, the present dialogue presents or shows phonological processes such as assimilation, coalescence, and elision. Let's see how shaped the matter of speech. The word Sean is influenced by the following sound segment, which is the articulation n. In this case of assimilation, what happens is that the air passes through the nose, making the sound segment to sound lower from the alveolar place. Then, it is possible to observe a coalescence with the words was and just. These two segments end up being replaced by a single one. In addition, these two phonemes are substituted with a consonant that has similar features. In this case, the sound plus the j sound becomes a sh. Hence, the word just produces a phonological process called elision. This phoneme consists in reduced and pronounced segments that end missing, proving that the conversation is a casual context. The same situation with the segment of the word about. It is possible to drop the t sound and sounding like this, about instead of about. The next phonological process is the sequence of the word something. The process is assimilation, to be more specific, based on nasalization. The nasal consonant is substituted with another nasal sound, in this case the
Then, I don't know. In this part, we have a phonological process that is called elision, and this occurs because the sounds t and n are eliminated, so it will sound like d. I don't know.
Once again, the word something expressed the use of the phonological process called assimilation. The same case with bend and moment. But these vowel sounds are nasalized because it is followed or preceded, in this case, and preceded by a nasal stop. In addition, the vowel becomes nasalized when it precedes a nasal consonant. Lastly, it is interesting to observe that segments can present more than one phonological process, as is in the case of moment, since it is possible to drop or release the sound of the t. And to conclude, we have one of the more common phonological processes of assimilation, the nasalization. This sound is pronounced by tapping the tongue against the alveolar ridge, but because it comes before a dental consonant sound the, it's dentalized instead. This means that the n sound turns into an sound.